welcome back to the channel. So in the last video I was working on getting rid of all the rust on the engine. So I had some gel coating on here to remove all the rust, and then we also had the bucket here with the crank pulley and all them other pieces from the engine, so that will get rid of the rust in there. So it's the next day from when I done this. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean off the gel and all the gel that's left on there, and then just clean up the rest, get rid of all the oil, and then we should be able to start masking it off, and we should be able to start painting. I'm going to be using some VHT Wrinkle Paint, so we'll be able to do that. And then for these parts, they're not quite done just yet, so I'm just going to show you. Let me put this on here. So they're not done yet. They do need a little bit longer, and the water's kind of cold now. But as you can see, it's coming up. It's getting rid of most of the rust. So I'm just going to leave that in for a bit longer, and we'll just carry on with the block. But here's some other ones. The rust is almost off on this one. You can see it's just on the inside, so there's a bit, but on the other side here it's nice and clean, no rust, so that's what it's pretty much done. And you can see we've still got a bit, so I'm just going to wire brush these pieces again, and then leave them be, and then move on to the block. I just finished cleaning it up, got all the gel off, as well as I just heated it, or used the heat gun and dried it up so it just doesn't rust while it's not being painted. And then I cleaned up a few other bits, just like the aluminium pieces. I still need to clean up the oil pan, and then I'm just gonna clean up these pieces once the timing kit comes. But for now that's fine. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually gonna be painting the block black. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the paint. So the block is dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint it with this VHT Wrinkle Plus. So it's heat resistant as well. So we're going to mask it off anywhere we don't want to paint. It would be easier if we could take it apart, but I don't really want to take the head off at the minute. So I'm just going to go mask it off, and then we can start painting. Two coats on there. I did horizontally and then vertically, which it says on the can, as you can see. So it's going to take a while before it starts wrinkling, but I got it all painted and masked off. I didn't bother masking the oil pan because I'm actually going to be taking it off and wet sanding it to clean it up anyway, so I wasn't too worried. I just masked off the top, and that's fine. There is the oil pump. I got a bit of spray on there. Doesn't matter because I'm going to be replacing that as well. So everything is perfect. So I'm just going to let that dry, leave it about 2 hours, and then I'll come back and see how it goes. And if it wrinkles, that'll be great. And if it doesn't, we'll put another coat on, and then it should have some good wrinkles then. A couple of hours and the paint is sort of dried. You can see it started to wrinkle up. See if I can get a focus. So it's wrinkling slightly. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a bit more. So I'm just gonna take the oil pan off while I'm waiting for that to dry completely. I'm gonna try and clean it up. Gonna wet sand it, and hopefully we can get it to a nice shiny aluminium finish on it. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to start cleaning this up, degrease it, and then I'm going to actually just go sand it with some 300-400 grit paper and see how it turns up, and then I'll go lower or higher if I need to. So it's just finished. So what I did, cleaned it up, got rid of all the dirt, then I started sanding down with 120 grit just to cut it quicker because it's really pitted. So I used 120 grit, and then I went up to 200, and then I went to 400 grit, get it smooth again so you're going to see the scratch marks. And then I used some of this compound and some of the aluminium polish, and I couldn't get it like properly polished because the oil pan is actually really pitted, so you'd have to take off a lot of material. So if I go in close, you can see it's got loads and loads of pits in it, so that would have took a long time, and I didn't want to do it that much. I only just wanted to clean it up. I think it will do, and it will look a lot nicer on the engine with once it's all painted like the black, and then the rocker cover will be painted as well. So I can go ahead and get it back onto the engine. Once it's back on the engine, then we can move on to the timing belt. Just been waiting for that to arrive, and now here. Just gonna go ahead, fit the oil pan back up. We'll see how it all looks together. Oil pan's back on and we're pretty much done, and it's looking pretty good. It's a lot cleaner than it was. Obviously not like polished or anything, but it's the best I could do with all the pitting, and I didn't have especially when I was doing it by hand mostly. If I had the parts like the proper sanders and stuff, we probably could get it polished. So we got this painted as well, the block and the thing. The engine's looking a lot better, a little bit more respectable now for when we put it back into the MX-5. There's still a good bit amount to do on this, but that'll be for another video. That's pretty much it for this video. Still got plenty left to do on the engine. I am trying to get out the videos a bit quicker now, so you don't have to wait as long, but trying to go as quick as possible. So that's it for this video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.